Welcome to our new home. Yeah, we moved. I'm so happy. In our last video, for those who saw, I told you about how we were going to move finally from our studio to our one bedroom, and we did. And it's been a couple of weeks, and it was not an easy couple of weeks because Jose was so sick. I was actually really concerned for him, but thank God he's almost completely better. And I had it a little bit. You can still hear a little bit in my chest, and I cough at night, but not much. Thank God I hardly had anything of what Jose had. But anyway, so I did the whole move by myself. The poor thing, he was incapable. He would have helped me if he could have. He was completely incapable of doing anything. And I literally did the whole move, including the couch, because we've got one of those couches from Lovesac that you can take apart and put back together. And so I moved every detail by myself. So I'm kind of proud. But I'm not going to show you yet because I'm the kind of person that everything has to have its place. You know, it's like I'm not somebody who's constantly moving and changing things. If something doesn't have its place, then it gets thrown out. So, or put away for keepsake if it's a memory. But anyway, we're still expecting a couple of things. But then when we finally have everything in place in 1 or 2 weeks, I'm going to show you, and I'm going to take time, and because everything that's in this house means something to me. I'm a very sentimental person, and so I only really keep what means something. So there's little stories about everything. So I'll show you around when it's time. In the meantime, oh, you might wonder what this is. That was a brilliant idea. Another brilliant idea from me. I realized that our place is small. It still is very small. There's enough room for Jose to have a desk in our bedroom, but our living room didn't have enough room for a desk for me. And so I came up with this idea of this is a portable desk that sits against my comfy chair, and then I've got my laptop here and my keyboard, and then I've got the best of both worlds because the TV's right in front of me, and I can just, you know, chill out while I'm looking at comments or whatever, and have my little coffee here, and it's perfect. In fact, this is our dream house. It really is. I don't care if we ever move from here ever again for the next, I'm expecting to live another 40 or 50, no, not 50 years. That would have made me 111. So at least another 30 or 40 years. So, so anyway, we wouldn't mind if we lived here forever. Anyway, how many times do I say anyway? You could probably, you could probably have a contest about that. Anyway, now I will tell you what the video is all about. And a couple of months ago, I think, I asked you guys if you'd like to hear some of the visions that I've experienced, because I'm a Christian, and the way that God speaks to me in a life-changing way, every time he speaks, it's been life-changing for me, is through visions. And so I'm going to tell you about the first vision I ever had that really did change my life. And what happened was, I think I was about 22 or 23, and I was in England because I had joined a missionary organization, a training school, you know, where you can learn about the Bible and things like that. I had joined one called Youth with a Mission. And so I was in my training school, and we sometimes had nighttime classes, which we had to go to. You know, that was part of the deal. And I had just come out of horrible bulimia, because if in some of my videos I talk about how I started bulimia. If you don't know what that is, that means you just stuff your face until you can't, I mean, you just stuff it, and then you make yourself sick, and then stuff it again, and that's how you live, and it can kill you. But I started that when I was 14, and I continued with it until I was 22 years old. And it was very, very severe. Like I, I would, right before I became a Christian, that was my life. I would wake up in the morning and I would, just hang out until I got hungry, and then get a huge, large pizza for myself and eat the whole thing, and a big thing of ice cream, eat it for myself, by myself, or whatever, and then get rid of it. And then I would do it again and again, about 3 or 4 times a day. It's amazing I didn't die. Thank God I didn't die. And instead, I got freed from that through a living relationship with God, where I really experienced Him changing me, coming in and healing my heart and changing me. And so, soon after that, I was in England at this missionary organization, and it was really more of a training school. For me, I was in it for almost 7 years, and it was really a place to get my life normalized, rather than, I wasn't all about going out and converting anybody or anything like that. It was pretty much being in a place where I was received a lot of prayer from people and things like that, and counsel that brought me into a more normal frame of mind. So, but the very first time that I received the very first vision I ever received, I had been very, very upset. It was at nighttime, and because I had stuffed my face. I had really, really eaten a lot, and until I felt sick, and I felt just totally filled with shame. Like I felt like the worst person on the face of the planet, because I was no longer into throwing up or anything, but it was like I couldn't control. It's like I felt just like I don't know if you've ever felt this way. It felt like I was just a disgusting individual who didn't even deserve life or anything, didn't deserve love, life, or anything good. That's the state I was in. And we were supposed to go to a meeting downstairs, because I lived upstairs. We were supposed to go to this meeting, and I didn't want to go. I wanted to skip it, but I just felt like I had to go. So I get downstairs, and it's the first way, before they would teach or anything, they would have a time of worship, a time of singing songs to God. So there was this old song made, I think it was written many years ago, like in the 1980s or 70s. And I'll just tell you the words to it. In fact, I'll sing it to you so that you get the picture of what the words say. And it's singing to God, who is the King of Kings, and the Lord of Lords. And it goes, and my voice is all messed up because we just came out of the flu. Excuse me. So, Majesty, worship His majesty. Unto Jesus be all glory, honor, and praise. Majesty, kingdom, authority flows from His throne unto His own. His anthem raise, so exalt, lift up on high the name of Jesus. Magnify, come glorify Christ Jesus the King. Majesty, worship His majesty. Jesus who died Now glorified, the King of all kings. Well, as I was singing that song with my eyes closed, all of a sudden this film, like a picture show, went through my mind. And my life was changed. And I'm going to tell you the picture, I'm going to tell you the vision, and you'll understand why my life was changed. Because it's like I was in this other world. It's like I really, it's hard to explain what happens when a vision comes to you, but so what it was is that I saw myself on the streets of London. And I saw, well, actually, I didn't know it was me yet, but it was me. I was the worst kind of homeless beggar, all dirty and just filthy in the gutter of the street, with maggots, bugs crawling in and out of me, you know, and just the worst thing you can imagine. So that's where I was, and I was putting up my arm like this, wanting help. And then all of a sudden, I saw this procession of like a parade of royal carriages, like when a princess is getting married or something, but it was coming down the street, and it was like the golden carriage. And I saw in this carriage, with the horse-drawn carriage, it was Jesus. And I saw him in his royal robe with a crown on his head, just, you know, in his kingly state. And then all of a sudden I realized he saw me here, on this beggar on the gutter, just putting up my arm for help. And when he saw me, he commanded that the royal procession stop. And here he is, dressed with all of his royal robes. And he made it stop, and then he got out of the carriage. And he went over to me, and he picked me up, maggots and all, in his arms. And he took me back into the royal procession, into the carriage, and he commanded that the procession go back to the palace. Then he carried me up and took me into his chambers, his room, where he proceeded to clean me up, get all of the dirt and filth and the bugs off of me. Just, you know, arms, legs, everything. He just cleaned me up. And when I was all clean, he took his robe off of me. He put it on me. I mean, he took his robe off of himself, put it on me, and put his crown on me, and took me out to the balcony and announced to the world, "This is my beloved daughter." That's what, during the song, while I was singing it, that's what the vision that God gave me. And that changed my life. It changed my life. I realized that he loved me just as I am. And I know that there are some of you that feel like you are just that dirty beggar filled with maggots. That's what your inner self feels like. You might be gorgeous on the outside, but you feel like rotten. And I just pray that God would do for you what he did for me. I pray that you would take that vision that I just shared for yourself, because it truly is for you too. That's how he sees all of us. He just wants us to reach out for help. And then so that he can come and get us and take us and clean us up and love on us and take us as his own. He's not ashamed of us. He loves us. And I just pray that if that was for you, that truly the love of God would touch your heart and heal your heart as he has mine. Okay, well, that's all for today. Love you guys. Bye.